No longer can you minister to people that are cracked and broken but refuse to be healed. No more of that. No more of that. God took me to the woman with the issue of blood. Did Jesus go searching for her, or did she draw nigh to him?
Come on.
God said this is a year that if they want it, present it to them, move on.
Yeah.
Stop trying to persuade them to do something they just don't want to do. Until they are connected with the authority of your voice, they will never do consistently what you are attempting to get them to do. So what we birthed is a generation of people that operate off of eye service. As long as Apostle Roach is around, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. As long as overseers around, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. As long as Lady Nika is around, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do because I don't want Lady Nika to get on me. But as soon as they turn their back, you act like rebellious little kids. Returning right back to your vomit. Now we're going to go there too. We're going to talk about returning to our vomit. We're going to talk about what the vomit is. We're going to talk about the contents in the vomit. And why we keep going back to the vomit. We're going to deal with all of those things on today. Because these are the things that if we're ever going to be leaders, Candy, if you're ever going to be the teacher that God designed you to be, that's what you're going to have to deal with. It's not going to be you come here, you get your dance on, you do all that different stuff. No, the reality is you got to go out there in that community and you have to begin to make an impact and represent God in a manner that people are attracted and drawn to him. We represent God in a manner that nobody would be attracted to. You know why? Because majority of us, I ain't talking about myself, I just like talking about myself. And don't think that I'm down here like I'm in sin or anything. It's something God told me to do. By the end of the message, I'll be up here. All right? But one of the things, Candy, that he was talking to me about is that I'm misrepresenting so much because when I'm here, Lady Nika, I'm a bold giant. You can't tell me nothing. I'm ready to conquer everything. Come Sunday, a little trial comes. And now I'm weak again. And I don't know why. It's always like this. I don't know why. It's never going to change. That's how we represent God. But that's not how God is. So we have to begin to deal with those things so that when people look on that we don't even realize are looking on. Right. Because see, some of us don't even realize they are looking on. We don't realize they're looking on. We don't know who's around when we don't think nobody's around. Right. And because of that, that's the misrepresentation that we're giving as Christ. So that's my encouragement to the leadership team. This year, God's going to open up great opportunities for each and every one of us on the leadership team. It's going to introduce us to a people that are hungry, that are hungry. In the midst of it, we have to be careful as well because their hunger will make us not want to come back home. Their hunger will make you not want to come back home. Lady Nika, can I talk to you? Because you just wrote your book. God's doing great things for you. What'll happen is you'll get out there and they will celebrate the gift in you. And here's what'll happen. You'll finish preaching. They'll be able to pray you back through. Come on. And if you're not careful, it will make you regret coming back here. It'll make you regret coming back here. Because you'll say, well, Lord, it seems like I come home and I'm just nobody. You know why? Because that's how we see the leaders that are amongst us. So what God had to do was shake everything up. He shook it up because we thought we were bringing in all these different people. And what we thought was when we couldn't bring them in, we thought we failed. We thought we failed, but what God was doing was birthing the leadership team to another level to understand, okay, I got to present it. You don't take it, no problem. Eventually somebody's going to come in and take it. Somebody's going to come in and take it because it's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility to bring people in. That's not their responsibility. That's not Apostle Roach's responsibility. It's not the network's responsibility. It's not anybody's responsibility to bring them in. Their responsibility is to preach and teach the gospel in a manner that presents it in a manner where you can apply it to your life. It generates change. You go out, you compel men and women to come so that their lives can be changed as well. But what we do is we come, we sit, we're taught. We sit, we're taught. We sit, we're taught. We sit, we're taught. Prayer line comes, we're not going to come to prayer line. Oh no, ain't no way. You got to call me out, Apostle Roach. After the word. Now after the word convicted us. Or did it? That's the reality of it, honestly. Did it convict us? Because I remember I was talking in Sabbath school. I remember a time my apostle could preach, and in the middle of the message, I was on that altar. He didn't have to come and drag me because I understood it was what I needed. And that's the type of people that God is about to open up the doors for us, even the ones that don't want to go out. He's going to open up doors for us so that we can experience that, but yet at the same time understand we have to come back and deal with what has to be done. Because from here, there is going to be a generation of people that want it, that are hungry. And some of you may be that generation that wants it. But in order to want it, you have got to become consistent. You've got, and I make no apologies today. Usually what I do, Pastor Lane, because that was an insecurity for me with the apostolic anointing that was in my life. When God would give me something a little rough to say, Pastor Isaiah, I'd be like, but John, you know, I try to clean it up a little bit. Trying to soften it up. But you know, one of the things that God rebuked me about was, how are you going to tell me how your assignment should go? If that's what I called you to do, shut up and do what I called you to do and keep it moving. It's a shame he did what he did. That's what he told me. He told me, shut up. Shut up. Now let's talk to us. Because now it's for us, there's decision-making time for us. Because this leadership conference isn't just for the leaders, as it's been said the whole time. It's for you guys that are supposed to develop into the leaders. You're supposed to develop into the leaders. And if the vision can't trust you, you'll never be a leader here. What do you mean if the vision can't trust you? If you're inconsistent.
Come on.
If you put your mouth on the vision.
Talk to us.
Even if you put your mouth on the vision with people that you think that you can trust, and they haven't said anything, it may not come out naturally. Oh, but in the spirit, it speaks loud. So you might be here and you might say, you know what? I didn't really feel the Spirit of God today. It didn't move like it normally moves. That may not be the problem with the church. Now, I'm going to tell you, 95% of the time, it's not the problem with the church. The problem is you disconnected during the week.
Come on.
You disconnected with your words. The crazy thing about it is, we won't confess anything positive, but we'll confess everything negative.
Come on.
Everything negative.
Come on.
We will forget how our leaders have tarried with us, put up with us, bailed us out of situations, done things for us that nobody else knows. But as soon as they don't answer our little cry, because we should have matured by now, now they're the worst thing in the world. One of the things God told me, and I'm trying to get to my notes, one of the things he told me was, it's time to get off the tip.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to get off the tip.
Well,
you're biting, and it's hurting. It's time to get off. No longer can you minister to people that are cracked and broken but refuse to be healed. No more of that. No more of that. God took me to the woman with the issue of blood. Did Jesus go searching for her, or did she draw nigh to him?
Come on.
God said this is a year that if they want it, present it to them, move on. Stop trying to persuade them to do something they just don't want to do. Until they are connected with the authority of your voice, they will never do consistently what you are attempting to get them to do. So what we birthed is a generation of people that operate off of eye service. As long as Apostle Roach is around, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. As long as overseers around, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. As long as Lady Nika is around, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, because I don't want Lady Nika to get on me. But as soon as they turn their back, you act like rebellious little kids. Returning right back to your vomit. Now, we're going to go there too. We're going to talk about returning to our vomit. We're going to talk about what the vomit is. We're going to talk about the contents in the vomit. And why we keep going back to the vomit. We're going to deal with all of those things on today. Because these are the things that if we're ever going to be leaders, Candy, if you're ever going to be the teacher that God designed you to be, that's what you're going to have to deal with. It's not going to be you come here, you get your dance on, you do all that different stuff. No, the reality is you got to go out there in that community and you have to begin to make an impact and represent God in a manner that people are attracted and drawn to him. We represent God in a manner that nobody would be attracted to. You know why? Because majority of us, I can talk about myself, I just like talking about myself. And don't think that I'm down here like I'm in sin or anything. It's something God told me to do. By the end of the message, I'll be up here. All right? But One of the things, Candy, that he was talking to me about is that I'm misrepresenting so much because when I'm here, Lady Nika, oh, I'm a bold giant. You can't tell me nothing. You can't. I'm ready to conquer everything. Come Sunday, a little trial comes, and now I'm weak again. And I don't know why. It's always like this. I don't know why. It's never going to change. That's how we represent God. But that's not how God is. So we have to begin to deal with those things so that when people look on, that we don't even realize are looking on.
Right.
Because see, some of us don't even realize they are looking on. We don't realize they're looking on. We don't know who's around when we don't think nobody's around.
Right.
And because of that, that's the misrepresentation that we're giving as Christ. So that's my encouragement to the leadership team. This year, God's going to open up great opportunities for each and every one of us on the leadership team. It's going to introduce us to a people that are hungry, that are hungry, that are hungry. In the midst of it, we have to be careful as well because their hunger will make us not want to come back home. Their hunger will make you not want to come back home. Lady Nika, can I talk to you? Because you just wrote your book. God's doing great things for you. What'll happen is you'll get out there and they will celebrate the gift in you. And here's what'll happen. You'll finish preaching. They'll be able to pray you back through.
Come on.
And if you're not careful, it will make you regret coming back here. It'll make you regret coming back here. Because you'll say, well, Lord, it seems like I come home and I'm just nobody. You know why? Because that's how we see the leaders that are amongst us. So what God had to do was shake everything up. He shook it up because we thought we were bringing in all these different people. And what we thought was when we couldn't bring them in, we thought we failed. We thought we failed, but what God was doing was birthing the leadership team to another level to understand, okay, I got to present it. You don't take it, no problem. Eventually, somebody's going to come in and take it. Somebody's going to come in and take it because it's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility to bring people in. That's not their responsibility. It's not Apostle Roach's responsibility. It's not the network's responsibility. It's not anybody's responsibility to bring them in. Their responsibility is to preach and teach the gospel in a manner that presents it in a manner where you can apply it to your life and generate change. You go out, you compel men and women to come so that their lives can be changed as well. But what we do is we come, we sit, we're taught. We sit, we're taught. We sit, we're taught. We sit, we're taught. Prayer line comes, we're not going to come to prayer line. Oh no, ain't no way. You got to call me out, Apostle Roach. After the word. Now after the word convicted us. Or did it? That's the reality of it, honestly. Did it convict us? Because I remember I was talking in Sabbath school. I remember a time my apostle could preach and in the middle of the message, I was on it all. He didn't have to come and drag me because I understood it was what I needed. And that's the type of people that God is about to open up the doors for us. Even the ones that don't want to go out, he's going to open up doors for us so that we can experience that, but yet at the same time understand we have to come back and deal with what has to be done. Because from here, there is going to be a generation of people that want it, that are hungry. And some of you may be that generation that wants it. But in order to want it, you have got to become consistent. You've got, and I make no apologies today. Usually what I do, Pastor Delane, because that was an insecurity with me with the apostolic anointing that was in my life. When God would give me something a little rough to say, Pastor Isaiah, I'd be like, but John, you know, I try to clean it up a little bit. Trying to soften it up. But you know, one of the things that God rebuked me about was, how are you going to tell me how your assignment should go? If that's what I called you to do, shut up and do what I called you to do and keep it moving. It's a shame he did what he did. That's what he told you. He told me, shut up. Shut up. Now let's talk to us. Because now it's for us, now it's decision-making time for us. Because this leadership conference isn't just for the leaders, as it's been said the whole time. It's for you guys that are supposed to develop into the leaders. You're supposed to develop into the leaders. And if the vision can't trust you, you'll never be a leader here. What do you mean if the vision can't trust you? If you're inconsistent. If you put your mouth on the vision.
Talk to us.
Even if you put your mouth on the vision with people that you think that you can trust, and they haven't said anything, it may not come out naturally. Oh, but in the spirit, it speaks loud. So you might be here and you might say, you know what? I didn't really feel the Spirit of God today. It didn't move like it normally moves. That may not be the problem with the church. Now, I'll tell you, 95% of the time, it's not the problem with the church. The problem is you disconnected during the week.
Come on.
You disconnected with your words. The crazy thing about it is, we won't confess anything positive, but we'll confess everything negative.
Come on.
Everything negative.
Come on.
We will forget how our leaders have tarried with us, put up with us, bailed us out of situations, done things for us that nobody else knows. But as soon as they don't answer our little cry, because we should have matured by now, now they're the worst thing in the world. One of the things God told me, and I'm trying to get to my notes, one of the things he told me was, it's time to get off the tip.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to get off the tip.
Well,
You're biting,
uh-huh.
and it's hurting.
Come on.
It's time to get off. Stop allowing them to attach to the tip.
Well,
Require more out of them. Require more out of them. Because they can do more. They can do more. And if they refuse not to do more, then they're not the one. That's the season we're in now. It's no more, come on, Corey, come on, Corey, hypothetically. Come on, Corey, come on, let's go to the game, Corey, let's go to the game. No, I don't even want to go. Okay, no problem. Somebody else, on to the next. On to the next. And that's how we have to have it. But what has happened is we build ministry like we build personal relationships.
oh my.
And listen, I want to take a plug right now. July 31st, I'll be having a workshop on understanding poverty and its effects on your family.
That's it, man.
I have 9 slots left. Anybody want to sign up? Here's why. Because we build ministry relationships off of a poverty mindset too.
I love it.
And
I
because
love
we
it.
build ministry relationships off of a poverty mindset, we never connect with people that help take us to the next level.
Come on.
You know why? Because our insecurity tells us we need to be the one ministering all the time.
Right.
You know why? Because we won't submit enough to the ministry to be able to minister.
Y'all better sign up. Come on, preach.
We won't submit enough to be a leader here.
Lord, have mercy.
Now, this isn't everybody, but some of you. You won't submit enough to be a leader here. But you out there giving everybody prophecies. You out there giving everybody instructions. But we can't get you to say nothing in the house.
Get you say
You're silent. Silent. But you know what's going to happen? The Lord is going to allow your leader to run into the people that you're ministering to. And he already does it. But he's going to do it to a greater, he's going to do it at a greater capacity. And your leader's going to say, what?
What?
They did what? They did what? But it's a new year, new rules.
New rules, come on.
New year, new rules. Don't get stuck on some of the things that I'm saying, because you'll miss it.
Come on.
Don't get stuck there because you'll miss it.
Preach.
Understand there are new rules, which means everything has to change. Everything has to change. Can I tell y'all the truth? Our respect of the ministry has to change. I respect the ministry. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Service starts 7:30. 8:15, we still waiting on people to get here. And here's my thing.
I got it right.
If it's a Friday night, I'm confused.
I got it right here.
Because isn't it the Sabbath?
Slap, honey. You slap.
Isn't it the Sabbath? I got on some of the Sabbath school teachers a couple weeks ago because Sabbath school starts what time?
10:30.
10:30. So why do we need to wait and go to the store at 10:25?
Oh my God.
And then the kids are sitting here waiting and there's no teacher. Then the parents stop bringing the kids and you're mad. New rules. If you're a teacher, you should be. I had a baseball coach on an AAU team. One of the things he told us was, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. If you're not 15 minutes, and he lived by that. He lived by that. He was crazy. He lived by that. If you were, and that meant he didn't care how good you were. If you weren't there in time, guess what happened? You got benched. See, there's a season in the body of Christ where some of these superstars about to get benched. And the reason they have to get benched is because they lack the humility that should be connected to the assignment that God has called them to.
Amen.
Listen,
Preaching.
God,
Man of God, you're preaching.
we're going to get benched. And what's going to happen is, I'm going to teach y'all a lesson. This happened to me. I was youth leader at my church growing up. But I always had these seasons where, you know, I just go on the run, whether it be emotional or physical. Well, I went on the run this one time, Pastor Isaiah. So I went to my apostle and pastor and I said, listen, I have to resign as a youth leader. My pastor, she sat there and she cried. And she was like, please don't do it. My apostle, he's like Apostle Road.
Oh, that ain't right.
Oh, if you're going to come to me, then you shouldn't have been in anyway. So, but we don't need you. We don't need you. We don't need nobody ministering to our young people that's unstable. So I respected what he was saying. He was right. I respected what he was saying. But here was my mentality. I'm going to be real. I don't, nothing to hide.
Come on.
In my mind, Jaquan, I could go do my thing for a season and come back. Because after all, there was nobody else that could replace me to be with the youth department. Or they could replace me, but surely they couldn't replace me at the level that I was doing.
And that's something.
So you know what God did? God raised up one of the young people that I taught.
Wow. Oh, wow. He will.
And had them replace me. And she ran that youth department to a greater level. I remember I tried to come back. He wasn't having, because Pastor, she was more the compassionate type. But by that point, because I left a couple times, I just went emotionally. Now I'll be there physically, but emotionally I left. She was at the point where she was like, you know what, I can't even rescue you no more. That's where we're at right now. You may think there's no replacement. I go back to a story. Saul didn't think he was replaced.
Come on here and preach.
But David was in the wind.
Yeah.
David didn't think he was replaceable. But along came Solomon.
Come on.
So one of the things you have to understand is, you have to understand that there's going to be somebody else that will come and value what you do in the ministry, and they'll do it with greater excellence. And the thing is, they might say a singing, they may not sing as good as you. They may not hit every note that you can hit. But the anointing that they will possess because of the connection that they have to the ministry will outweigh your gift any day.
Any day. Wow. Any day.
Let's say it's preaching. You know, or prophesy, because we like to hold words around here. We like to hold words. So let's say,
better stop holding them words.
I'm going to hold it. God will bring a drunk off the street. And that drunk will get cleaned up in 1 week and be prophesying the prophecies that you, I heard that. Oh, God he dealt with me about that. That day has to be over. Because it's new rules. Right? Everybody new rules, right? I want to hear your voices. Yeah, okay, new rules. All right, let's go to the word. We're going to try to get through this. Matthew 9:17. All right? Neither do men put new wine into old bottles. Either the bottle breaks, and the wine runs out, and the bottle perish. But they put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved. Now, let's look at this word new. All right, I like to break words down. It's a primary word. It talks about it being fresh. But here's what I want us to look at from new. Regenerate. Cells growing back after old cells have died off. So, if it's something new, there's some things inside of us that ought to die off. And some new things that should be regenerated so that it can connect with what the vision has. All right? That's new. Wine, we're going to talk about wine as if it is the Spirit of God, or the principles that are established within the ministry. Okay? It also talks about a bubbling over, or an excitement. It talks about a high spirit or animation. So you come to church, right? The Spirit of God is moving. It's a time of animation. But then when you leave, that animation goes down, right? I'm going to tell you why it goes down. because we're trying to do it in old bottles. This word old talks about antiques. Now we know antiques have great value,
Right.
but not all antiques have great value. It's talking about out-of-dated antiques of the least amount of value. That's what the dictionary said.
Come on.
Of the least amount of value. There are some things that you're trying to hold on to that are antiques in your life, whether it be old bondages,
I like that.
old relationships,
I like that, man.
old whatever it is, old mentalities on how
I
to
like
handle
that.
things.
I like
So the old thing that you're trying to hold on to keeps fighting the new principles that are established. Now, for a time, the ministry put up with it. And they loved you through it. And they will still love you through it. But they allowed you to work through it. That's not the new thing that God is doing. Not with some of you. Because some of you ought to have mastered that by now.
Right.
Now let's keep going. Let's keep going. That's what old means. Old talks about running back to some old things or some things that we said died, but we find out really we're only in a coma. We're really just in a coma. So my question to each of us, what is it we keep running back to? What is it that we keep running back to? Because it used to be, my question would be, what keeps calling us back? But can I be honest with you? The calling has stopped. It's not the thing or them that misses us now. It's us that keeps going back to it. Matter of fact, the demon is mad because he's saying, listen, I'm tired of you bringing me to the city every week. I'm tired of coming here. Can you get a new one? Can you get a new best friend? But we keep running back to the same thing. Now we're going to break this down in a minute. It blessed me. Oh, it really blessed me here. Proverbs 26 and 11. Now this is not me calling you these things. This is the word of God.
Right.
If you are a person that keeps retreating to old things, listen to what the word of God says about it. In the NIV version, it says, as a dog returns to its vomit, a fool repeats their folly. All right? That's not my favorite one, though. The Aramaic Bible in plain English, this is my favorite.
I love it.
It says, like a dog that returns to its vomit, so is a fool that is insane in his foolishness. Now, I didn't say that about us. That's what the word said.
The word says.
Now let's hear what God's word says. As a dog goes back to its vomit, so a fool repeats his stupidity. Now my question to all of us, how stupid have we been?
Oh, that's a word. That's a mess.
Real talk. Now again, I'm not calling you stupid. This is the word. This is what the word says. But it's new rules, right?
Right.
Say it with me, new rules.
New rules.
So my question to you, what's your vomit? What is your vomit?
Yes.
What is your vomit? What is the thing that you keep running back to? Because all of us have different vomit.
Yes, we did.
We all have different vomit. But Pastor Isaiah, I guarantee you, we all have different vomit, but we all have vomit. To some degree. To some degree. To some degree. Some of our vomit doesn't have as much power as other people's vomit, but does. Right. But we can't judge them. Why? Because we got vomit too.
That's right.
All right, now listen to this. Something God gave me. Basically, we're sprung over vomit and rejecting a full-course meal.
Wow.
What do you mean a full-course meal? I'm talking about the word that spread, the opportunity that spread to you.
That's powerful.
We're rejecting that, but embracing our vomit. We're sprung over our vomit. We're sprung over our vomit.
Wow.
That's the thing that makes us move. That's the thing that controls us. And it's not the vomit itself. We're going to get to it. It's the content in the vomit.
Oh.
Because see, some people will say, I don't return to no vomit. That's nasty. But you know what attracts us back to the vomit? It's no longer the taste. Think about if you throw up, you ate your favorite food or whatever. That favorite food being in that vomit. What makes you go back to the vomit is not the taste of it. It's the memory of it.
Oh, wow. That's
so you're still connected to the memory, even though the taste is gone. So you're willing to sacrifice a good taste for a memory.
Come on, Christian.
Now when you understand something about a full course meal, A full course meal has up to 16 courses. Now, I know some of us, we haven't experienced that in life yet. I've never experienced a 16-course meal. I'll be honest with you. I haven't. But you know what's delayed me from being able to experience a 16-course meal?
What you say?
Being stuck on my bum. 16 courses that would be spread for us. Now, let's think about the Word of God. Each leader in here teaches, not baby stuff, teaches principles that if you apply, your life would be unbelievable.
Right.
That's the 16-course meal.
I believe.
Spread for you. But we keep running back to our vomit. Let's move on. All right? The comfortability of the vomit will keep you stuck and never full. So that's why you come to church week after week and say, I feel like it should be more. I should be doing more. I want more. Why can't I master more? Because you're still stuck on the vomit. Listen to this word, dog. This is what got me. And let's think about, I don't want you to think about it just in the natural sense. I want us to think about our mindset. It's a male prostitute. Do we have that mindset? Not just sexually, because I know when we hear prostitute, that's the only thing that we think.
That's what, yeah.
Some of us are emotional prostitutes.
Come on here.
Psychological prostitutes.
Oh, God help us.
That's what I'm talking about. So we got to deal with that dog side of us. We got to deal with that dog side of us. And it's not just men.
That's right. Break it down.
Spiritually, if we want to talk spiritually, because in the spirit, there's no male, female.
Right, right.
So we have that tendency inside of us that if we don't deal with it, it will begin to overtake us.
Come on.
This word returneth. Now, you heard returneth 2 times in that scripture. And this is why it's important to study, because the 2 returneths have 2 different meanings.
Come on.
This returneth right here means not necessarily going back to the starting point that represents your bondage. You know how sometimes we look at going back and we say, well, I didn't go back to being in a relationship with them. This returneth is not talking about that.
Right. Come on.
This returneth is talking about going back to the mindset. It's all in that mind. It's that psyche. Going back to the mindset that had you in that relationship anyway.
Right.
That's what this returneth is talking about. All right? But it also says to be used adverbally. Now, anybody knows anything about verbs and adverbs? Your adverbs add to your verb.
Right.
So basically what it's saying is, when you return, you're returning worse than you did when you first were there, which is a spiritual principle anyway. Come on, we're going to move on. Say it with me, new rules.
New rules.
We're going to get past this vomit. Say it, I'm going to get past my vomit.
I'm going to get past my
Say, I'm going to
vomit.
get past my vomit.
I'm going to get past my vomit.
As we said earlier, the vomit represents fragments of your past that you don't want to let go. Fragmented pieces of it. It's not a whole, it's not all the way together. It's fragmented. But it represents that. It represents that comfort zone. And God is trying to pull and stretch us somewhere. But while he's trying to pull and stretch us, we're trying to carry, hold on, God. Hold on. Hold on. I got to take all this with me, God. And he said, no, you can't bring all that with you. If that's what you're going to do, then you might as well just go. You can't serve 2 masters. You're going to love one, hate the other. And I'm going to tell you one thing about God. God understands his value. So he's not going to chase you with something that's going to bless you. He's going to wait until you're ready to chase him. Let's look at this word fool. It talks about being, the stupid. We talked about all that. But guess what else it says? Arrogant one.
Oh. Yeah.
Arrogance.
Yeah.
And some of us say, I'm not arrogant. There is a passive side of arrogance that sometimes is disguised as humility to the naked eye. I use myself again, Elder Core. One time, somebody came up to my apostle, and I was his armor bearer for years. They said, your armor bearer is so humble. He said, no, he's not. He said, he's silently rebellious. He's silently a foolish individual. That's basically what he was saying. He silently doesn't appreciate what's being offered to him. Now, I didn't always say that. I didn't, because I was called the brown noser, I was called the apostle's pick, I was called all those different things, because once I got it, I got it, and I ran with it, and I refused to look back. Same thing we need to do today, all right? Let's move on. Let's look at the second word, returning. The second word, returning. Here's what this word, returning, means. It is a primitive root. It means to fold. Now, this is the part that gets a little sneakier, Lady Nika, because this is where you start to disguise and hide your stuff. Because this returnative talks about to transmute, which means to transform, or to disguise yourself in a manner that nobody recognizes that it's you. That's what it says about the fool that returns to his vomit. We no longer look like what God has said we are, or what has been prophesied to us. Now we revert back to what we once were. So if you were a whore, that's what you disguise yourself as. If you were a liar, that's what you disguise yourself as. If you were an alcoholic, that's what you disguise yourself as. You start to look like what you once were, so that nobody can recognize when you go back. All right, let's keep going. Folly. Now, here's something else that has to change. We play more than we take things serious. And sometimes the playing is an insecurity that we won't verbally admit. But the reality is, to God, that stinks. It's disrespectful to him. Especially at times of impartation, in times when he is taking the time to pull us somewhere. If we're playing all the time, one of the things that he told me was, some people are still stuck on having recess. I remember when we switched over at Sussex Central, the greatest high school that was ever created. We switched over from junior high to middle school. We were the first middle school class. One of the greatest awakenings to be evangelist was when I got to 6th grade, and I'm trying to figure out what time is recess.
Yes.
What time is recess? Like, okay, we done did all these classes are longer now. The books are bigger now. What time is recess? And the thing was, some of us, we did the block schedule in the beginning, so we didn't have gym all year long. So now, okay, so when do I get to play? When is recess? And that's the mindset some of us have with ministry as well. We still want to be at the elementary stage. Matter of fact, be honest with us, some of us still want to be in kindergarten when we got the snacks. Now you know you get snacks all through school. But you remember in kindergarten, you used to get the little milk carton and that different stuff. Some of us still want to be there. We don't want the pastor to give us meat. Give me a snack. Give me a snack and then send me, give me a snack.
Come on, Apostle.
Let me lay down and take a nap. And then I want to go to recess. That's our mindset concerning ministry. So when we have a long day like this, or last night and today, we don't have the stamina to handle it. We don't have that stamina. You know why we don't have the stamina? Because we're not preparing for it. Because some of us, I'll be honest, if overseer had sent out the text about the classes on today, we would have forgot. Or we would have made other plans, forgetting that it was supposed to be convocation anyway. Why? Because we want that snack, we want that nap, and then we want to go to recess. Or maybe we want recess before snack. And then after that, we want to be dismissed to go home. Because we're tired. We're tired again now. Now I want to go home and play. I want to change my clothes, and I want to play. I want to change my clothes, and I want to play. Now let me hit the change of clothes. I want to change my clothes.
Come on.
And play.
Play.
What do you mean by change my clothes? I'm representing Christ. I want to wear what I want to wear. I'm not talking about physical clothes.
Right.
I'm talking about in the spirit. I don't want people to know that I'm saved. Because it doesn't take all that. I'm just going to represent him by the life that I live. That's the right. Doesn't sound so pretty? But we're not living the life that represents him.
Come on.
So when I go home, because when I used to go home, I had to change my clothes. We couldn't play in our school clothes.
No. Okay.
Couldn't play in our school clothes.
Take them school shoes off.
And that's what we're doing in the spirit. The sad part about it is, we're taking it off, and our parents are telling us, keep it on. You got to keep, if you are ever going to grow, if you're going to be successful, you got to keep your armor on. Keep your armor on. Your helmet of salvation. Your breastplate of righteousness. Your shield of faith. Your sword of the Spirit. Your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel. And your belt of truth.
Right.
And that truth deals with us first.
That's right.
Being truthful about us.
Right.
Because some of us, y'all, we have learned to lie so long that we believe the lie about us. And we're afraid to look in the mirror. Because if we look in the mirror, every time we look in the mirror, it contradicts the lie that we're telling ourselves. We're almost done, because I'm going to give y'all 4 things we need to do, and then we're going to get out of here. I'm going to hand it over to one of these people that can take us in, and they're going to take us right in, and then we're going to apply these principles and watch the ministry grow and watch us grow as a part of it. When I'm talking about growing up so the church doesn't feel like I'm just attacking the church, I'm talking to the network too. Because as a network, we need to grow up too.
We did.
As a network, we need to grow up.
That's the truth.
We all need to grow up. So don't leave here thinking, oh, he just came and he just told. Well, I don't care. Anyway, think what you want to think. But at the same time, we both, all of us need to grow up. All of us need to grow up. Because all of us have been babied to some extent. And we like it. You know why we still like it? Because we were neglected as a child, or we feel we were neglected as a child. We still have it. There's some of the fragments in our vomit. Somebody dropped me. Now we forget that we drop people too.
That's right.
I'm just saying, we forget that part.
Come on.
We forget we drop people. We want to focus on everybody that did us wrong and forget.
Right.
Wait a minute. I did Destiny wrong. One of the children. But that's Destiny. That's Destiny.
Come on.
She can get over.
Walk in here.
She can get over.
Come on.
Let's keep going, then we're going to get to these 4 principles. The bottle, now listen to this. This talks about the bottle. Now when you hear the word bottle, you probably going to think that it's talking about an actual vessel. But guess what it's talking about? Exercise and training. You can't pour new wine in old exercises and trainings. You can't do that. It talks about exercise and training. This morning we had health and physical fitness. Same thing in the spirit. He lined it up naturally as well as spiritually. And that's what some of us are doing. We're trying to use the same exercises to get different results.
Right. Wow.
And one of the things I realize at the gym is sometimes I go and I don't feel like doing the amount that I'm usually doing. So you know what happens? Because I haven't changed my eating habits too much. So when I first started, I was losing a lot of weight. But then I just got stuck right there at that 217. And I can't seem to get lower than that 217. And the reason why I can't get lower than that 217 is because I'm not exerting the energy to get there. Some of you feel as if you're stuck right there spiritually. Like, I know it should be more. I should be doing more. My finances should have broke by now. I should have a home by now. I should have a new car by now. I should have a new job by now. I should have my career by now.
Yeah.
But the reality is you're still doing the same exercises, expecting different results. And last time I checked, they said that's the definition of
insanity.
Insanity. So if we want something new this year, new rules, we got to step our game up.
Yeah.
Beyond our mind.
That's
I'm
right.
telling y'all, we can talk a good game. And I said we. I'm talking about me too. You see me tomorrow, Pastor, I can give you a 12-point plan and write out how I'm going to execute it. But if I'm not careful, because I remember we talked about this earlier last year, identifying our cycles. Our bodies operate off of a cycle. Everything is operating off of a cycle. When you don't identify and break your cycle, what happens is I go quit for 10 days. Because my cycle might be 10 days, but on the 11th day is when I mess up. If I haven't dealt with that, then I can keep my plan 10 days. On that 11th day, I'll stop and then be mad with God because why didn't he answer me on that 11th day? But say it with me, new rules.
New rules.
New actions.
New actions.
All right, here we go. This word break, this is the last word I'm going to break down, then we're going to hit these 4 things that we need to do, all right? It talks about to separate and break asunder. Like to sever something. I thought about when Jesus died and the veil of the temple ripped. That's the same thing that happens when we try to pour new principles. The leader's trying to pour new principles in you, but you continue to have that old mentality. It rips. It tears. The covenant is there.
Oh, God.
And once that covenant is torn, once that covenant is torn, nothing can be done. Because everything operates off a covenant. I had a young lady at the church in New Jersey. And I was teaching on covenant relationships versus being, you're fully invested.
Well,
And you know anything about stocks? If you invest in your stock, depending on the percentage that you invest in, if the stock go up, your money go up. If the stock go down, your money goes down. That's how you have to be in ministry. If the ministry go up, you go up. If the ministry's under attack, you feel the attack. But when you're detached, you don't feel the attack. You'll come in and they'll be telling you what's going on, and you'll be like, oh, okay. Oh, I don't even have to deal with that because I already know they're going to deal with it. Oh, we didn't make the offer? Oh, I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about that. Because I keep seeing Apostle Roach, he's going to go right to his wallet. And no matter what, he's always going to make it up.
that's the truth.
Say new rules.
New rules.
New giving.
New giving.
Better planning.
Better planning.
And I'll throw another plug in here. If you need help with budgeting, come on.
See the man?
Sign up.
I send them.
Sign up. Because if we're going to go to the next level in ministry and we want to be involved in it, it needs good representation.
That's right.
These bricks and these keys mean nothing. Some of us got bricks and we got keys, and we haven't moved to a house. We haven't got a car. We haven't got an office. Nothing has happened. And you know why? Because we stopped at the bricks and the keys. We thought that me praying over this stuff, laying on this stuff,
Come on.
Good stuff.
But can I be honest with you? We can't invite people if we don't want. Oh no, if we don't want to come ourselves. Hear what I'm saying? Because I want to come. Because if I didn't want to come, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
I heard it. I heard it. And can I be honest with you? In response to what you said in the spirit, you're not here. You may be physically here,
Come on.
but spiritually you're not here.
Right.
And God is trying to pull us back to being
Right.
here. Because he doesn't want you to get hyped off of what happened today and what happened last night.
Right.
Those things are easy. That came from them. That's their relationship that set the atmosphere. That's their relationship that laid the hands on you.
Yes.
But now you have to do something with your relationship to sustain it, maintain it, and walk in it.
That's
That's
good.
the truth.
You got to do something there. And can I be honest with you? If you do it right, your leader can be going through it in the week, and all of a sudden they feel a surge of strength. You know why? Because you're not just verbalizing something, you're living it. You want to be a real support to your leader? Live the life. It strengthens them.
Yes, it does.
When they don't have to hear your name in a bunch of mess,
Come on.
Come on.
and they know that they don't have to be there, and you're still going to do what God called you to do, that strengthens them.
Yes.
That strengthens them. I'm pretty sure that they get tired of their phone ringing over stuff that some of us ought to be back past right now. The small things. It's not even the serious ministerial things that have to be handled right now. But say new rules.
New rules.
New year.
Come on, man
New
of God.
year.
No more of that petty stuff. No more of the petty stuff. Your leaders, God isn't even going to allow them to listen to your nonsense. He's not going to allow them to. He's not. Because if they'll sit and listen to the nonsense that you can handle on your own, then God's going to say, you know what? That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. But I'm trying to take you to nations. I'm trying to build a ministry. Not a church, a ministry.
Right.
He's trying to bring in the thousands, but he can't bring in the thousands. Because of the thousands will be confused by us.
Right.
All right? Now here we go. Let's keep going.
Powerful.
Your actions are a direct expression of your greatest connection. What are you greatly connected to? What are you greatly connected to? Because that's going to show in your actions. If you're connected to this vision, then you should have some attributes of this vision.
Right.
All right? When you're connected on a covenant level, you will be fully vested in the vision. The spiritual dirt on your hands will resemble the work of the ministry as opposed to your hands being dirty for touching stuff you ought not be touching.
Oh.
Let me say that one more time. All right? When you're connected on a covenant level, you will be fully vested in the vision. The spiritual dirt on your hands will resemble the work of the ministry as opposed to your hands touching things that ought not be touching. So my question, what are we putting our hands to? What are we touching? What are we touching? Real talk, what are we touching? Or who are we touching? Because we have two options. I can touch you in a way that makes you want to come to the ministry. And I'm not always just talking physical touch. Let's elevate our minds. Or we're going into another year. Now, I know it's not New Year's, and I know it's not, the Hebrew year, Rosh Hashanah. However, this is a new year for the ministry.
Right.
Because this is the time we usually have convocation. So now, as I said before, it's a fiscal end of a fiscal year. And because of the end of a fiscal year, we're going to start something new.
Right.
So let's reevaluate some things. Here's what we need to reevaluate. The totality of our life in ministry over the last year. Personal. Now, I'm not talking about the church, because we can always find the totality of our life in ministry over the last year. All right? Number two that we're going to evaluate. Was this a successful year for us? This is the one I like right here. Does the amount of information, revelation, and impartation match your growth? Not bad if this is what we're... All right? Listen. Those are the three things I want you to assess. Okay? Our value or lack of value of time will determine the amount of success we have hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. And why I want us to reevaluate is because I want us to look at the amount of wasted time that we've had. We have looked at, some of us have lost jobs and different things like that, and we looked at it as punishment from God. Some of us are, that we need to do is to relaunch. Relaunch. Now, when we think about relaunch, you probably think I'm saying ministry-wise relaunch. No, I'm talking to you individually. Luke 5 and 4. Peter and them been fishing all night. They couldn't find anything. Jesus stepped in their boat. Some of us need a boat, represents a vessel. He stepped inside of Peter's vessel. And because they couldn't catch anything, once he stepped in it, it commanded the fish to come to the top of the sea. Some of our problem is we haven't let Jesus step in our situation. We haven't let him in us as a vessel. He's rested on us, but we haven't let him in us. So what we've been doing is fishing and fishing and fishing and fishing and catching nothing. I've been looking for a house and looking for a house, and I can't find one. I've been looking for a car, looking for a job, doing this, doing that, and I can't seem to find one. Have we let him step in us being the vessel so that the next time we go out there, now we can catch what we need to catch? That's from the natural sense. Now spiritually, when I'm talking about relaunching, it's time to launch some of y'all's ministries. Y'all done sat long enough. You done sat long enough. We talked about growth groups. Growth groups should be sprouting up. Here we are in another year.